Hello? This doesn't make any sense. Who let me out? Instinct tells me to try and find a way out of this place. But I can't leave without the 7 Koopalings. What on earth could Wizenheimer be hiding behind a door this size? Iggy, is that you? Now's not the time to explain, but I'm here to get you out. Do you know where they're keeping the key to your cell?
What? I do.
Who are you?
I'm Tony, one of Wizenheimer's assistants.
Oh, I see. You're here to take me back to my cell.
Not unless you'd like to return to your cell. I was the one who talked Wizenheimer into letting you roam this part of the castle.
Why?
You seem harmless enough. I thought you'd appreciate stretching your legs. It's not like you'd be able to get off of this floor.
Oh, well, would you consider letting Iggy out?
On one condition. You continue telling me about these, video games.
Before we start, I'm curious. What got someone like you interested in gaming?
Well, I haven't lived a completely sheltered life here in Wizenheimer's tower. I've been sent out on numerous errands and missions, and along the way, I've seen a lot of people playing video games through store windows and on their phones and their handheld devices, and I've always been interested, but, well, Wizenheimer doesn't approve of that sort of thing.
Oh, I see. Well, that raises another question. How did someone like you become associated with a character like Wizenheimer?
Oh, it's pronounced Wizenheimer. He's pretty touchy about that. And to make a long story short, my family has served under the Magic Koopas in Bowser's army for generations now. When my time came, I wasn't assigned to work under the mighty Kamek like my parents and grandparents before me. No, I was assigned to an up-and-coming Magic Koopa named Wizenheimer, one of Kamek's most promising pupils. But the day came when Wizenheimer felt that his power rivaled that of his instructor, and he left. And he took me along with him.
Oh, I see. And how do you enjoy serving under Wizenheimer?
Oh, well, it's not too bad. It's kind of lonely, and I'm kind of sad that I'm not allowed to see my family anymore.
Not allowed to see your family? That sounds outrageous. Have you ever considered leaving his service?
Oh dear, no. That's unheard of. I wouldn't dream of it.
Oh, it's a shame, you know. If I were in Wizenheimer's shoes, I certainly wouldn't dictate how you spent your free time or who you decided to associate with. I certainly wouldn't keep you away from your family. Anyway, it seems I've gotten off topic. What exactly did you want to know about gaming again?
Free time? Well, I would like to know all sorts of things. Like, who created these games, why they created them, and what you think about them.
And you're willing to release Iggy from his cell in exchange for this knowledge?
Sure. Like I said before, it's not like either of you would be able to get off of this floor.
Well, in that case, I'll be glad to tackle these subjects one at a time. Your first question involved who made these games. Well, in order to answer that question, we need to backpedal and begin with a brief history of Nintendo and the making of Donkey Kong.
All right, that sounds reasonable.
It's important to note that Nintendo has been around for over a century. However, it wasn't until the early 1970s that its president at the time, Hiroshi Yamauchi, had the foresight to get into the development and production of electronic games. Forming a team consisting of gaming legends Genyo Takeda, Gunpei Yokoi, and Masayoshi Yomura, the company developed the laser clay shooting system.
The clay laser what?
The laser clay shooting system. It was a game built to replicate clay shooting shooting ranges which were popular at the time. The game consisted of an overhead projector which displayed moving targets behind a background. Players would fire at the targets with a laser rifle, in which a mechanism of reflections would determine whether or not one of the laser shots hit the intended target. Despite the fact that the game's lifespan was short, it proved to be quite popular.
It sure sounds like it could be fun. It's a shame we can't play anything like it now.
Oh, don't worry. The laser clay shooting system inspired games later on, and we will certainly try out some similar titles later. But for now, let's continue. From there, Nintendo acquired the rights to distribute what's considered to be the first home video game console, the Magnavox Odyssey, and later began dabbling in the development and production of their own arcade machines. It was nearly a decade after the laser clay shooting system that Nintendo made the leap into the American market. However, their early efforts didn't quite click with the American audience until they made the decision to assign the project to a rookie by the name of Shigeru Miyamoto, who decided that games need a narrative, and hence drew from a wide range of inspiration for his game, which included fairy tales like Beauty and the Beast, popular children's cartoons like Popeye the Sailor, and the most obvious being RKO's King Kong.
You know, that makes a lot of sense. It's like you mentioned before. While short and primitive, Donkey Kong's cutscenes really advance the game's narrative and draws the player in. You aren't just a nameless stick figure on the screen. You and Mario are on a quest to rescue his girlfriend from a giant evil ape. Speaking of which, what happened to Mario after his defeat by Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr.?
Well, I'm glad you paid attention, Jody. Unlike your thick-headed leader. Oh, no offense.
None taken.
After the success of Donkey Kong, Nintendo produced 2 sequels and a spin-off titled Mario Brothers, which continues Mario's story. While the game doesn't address questions like what happened between Mario and Pauline, it introduces Mario's younger brother Luigi and shows that the two have moved on to start their own plumbing business.
When did they start rescuing princesses and playing sports and board games?
Don't worry, we'll get to all of that in due time, but for now, the brothers were content with living the simple lives of plumbers, and apparently exterminators, for their story started with them being hired to investigate the sewers of New York after reports of strange creatures being spotted in their depths. The gameplay is rather simple, really. It can be played by 1 or 2 people who assume the role of either Mario or Luigi respectively, and the objective of the game is to defeat all of the enemies in each phase. Unlike future titles, the player cannot simply squish the enemies by jumping on it. No, the goal is to knock the enemies off of the platforms by using a 2-part method. Punch the floor directly beneath the pest in order to flip it onto its backside, and then kick it to a watery grave.
Oh, that doesn't sound too hard. But I'm wondering, what's that big block that says POW on it?
Good observation, Toady. The power block at the center of the screen offers an alternative to the 2-part method I just described. Once used, it will flip all of the pests on the screen, giving you the opportunity to make a clean sweep of the phase, but there are limitations to using it. For starters, only enemies that are on the ground are affected. In other words, if you hit the power block while an enemy is in the air, which some enemies do jump and flutter, well, they won't be phased. It's also important to note that the power block can only be used a total of 3 times before it disappears, and it won't reappear until the player has completed the second bonus level and every bonus level thereafter, so it's important to use them wisely.
Oh, well, that sounds fair. I mean, I think this game would be too easy otherwise, wouldn't it? Anyways, is it possible to actually beat the game? Or is it endless like Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr.?
Oh, well, like most arcade games, it's impossible to actually beat the Mario Brothers. There is no ending. However, unlike Donkey Kong, there aren't any cutscenes either, so the game simply continues and the levels gradually become more and more challenging as you progress.
So, how would someone with your vast knowledge and experience grade this game?
Oh, much like Donkey Kong, I would give this game a 10 out of 10 without a doubt. The game has a simple but interesting storyline. It has great visuals. The difficulty is a steady progression, but you don't have to be a genius to figure out how to play it. And it's really enjoyable in both single and multiplayer forms.
Well, thank you for introducing it to me. I can't wait to try it out.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Perhaps we can try it out together, but first, perhaps we can get Iggy out of that cramped cell.
Oh, well, I'm a toady of my word. I'll get that door unlocked in a jiffy.
You know, Iggy's right. I hate to do this, Toady, but I'm going to give you two options. Help us escape, or I'm going to let my friend here turn you into Koopa's soup.
You're in no place to threaten me. All I have to do is sound the alarm, and this floor will be swarming with guards. Luckily for you, however, I've already decided to help, on the condition that you do exactly as I say.
What do you want us to do?
Greetings and salutations. I am H4Y9. I am here to remind you that if you are interested in playing the video games mentioned in today's video, you can always find them available on Nintendo's eShop and Virtual Console. If you're under the age of 18, you will need your parents' permission to place your purchase. Thank you.